everyone, how you doing? And welcome back to another video. Now recently, two different galaxies have collided with each other. Shane Dawson and Jake Paul are making a documentary together. And now the moment you heard that, you probably thought to yourself, well, that's the weirdest collaboration since fucking Ed Sheeran and Game of Thrones. And honestly, I completely agree with you. And you know, I don't necessarily believe that because of, say, Jake's history.
1, be a leech, gain your faith from the great ones. 2, be a maverick, lead the pack like Napoleon. I choose 2, you can ride on my...
Yeah, it's not because of that. It's in general because Jake Paul in the last year has pretty much begun to drop off in terms of relevance. Now, before all the Jake Paulers go crazy in the comment section, I'm not saying you're God, your hero, your maestro, the man you love more than anyone in the world is irrelevant. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, in 2018, he is less relevant than he was in 2017. And I do actually have evidence to back my claim, and you can see that when you take a look at his social blade. This month alone, Jake Paul has gained 391,000 subscribers, and don't get me wrong, that is fantastic, and his views are still brilliant, but it is the lowest point that his channel has ever been at. And then you go and take a look at Shane Dawson's social blade, and the difference between Jake Paul and Shane Dawson's channel is just pretty surreal. Shane is at the highest point his channel has ever been at. He's gained almost 1 million subscribers in 1 month, and that is just pure insanity. I would go as far to say that Shane is the most popular YouTuber on the planet currently, and you can see that when you take a look at my videos. My last video was about Shane, and that's purely because there is so much involving him right now in the stratosphere of YouTube. So it just begs the question of really, why would he associate with somebody like Jake Paul? Jake Paul doesn't particularly have a good reputation on YouTube. If anything, he's probably got one of the worst reputations on this website. Would it actually benefit Shane? Because I've seen a lot of people genuinely criticizing him for this, and I don't think that's fair, but there have been the criticisms here and there on Twitter and YouTube. And now before we go into any of that, you're probably wondering to yourself, well, where's the proof that this is actually going to be a thing? Well, it all started from an Instagram story post on Shane Dawson's Instagram in which he was asked a question of, would he ever make a video with Jake Paul? And he simply responded with this. Actually, yeah, I would love to follow him around for a day and see what his life is like. I'm very fascinated by him. How much of his life is real and how much is an act? What is his family life like? Does he date? Does he have real friends off camera? Does he actually have that much money, or is the house rented? So many questions. And when I first saw this, I genuinely thought to myself, well, actually, yeah, that could be quite interesting. There's a lot of questions I do personally want answered there, and I'm sure a lot of you guys want that, and I'm sure even a lot of Jake Paulers want that. And Jake also seems clearly eager to do this with Shane, because he simply responded with saying, I'm down, and then Shane Dawson responded with this. I know it's controversial, but I really want to try more things like this on my channel. I really want to try things I'm genuinely fascinated by and interested in. The ups and downs of Jake Paul's life and persona is something I would love to see from the inside. And now this is something we genuinely haven't seen from Jake or Logan Paul, or in general, that specific side of YouTube. Because at this point, a lot of people do just have the conception that Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Lele Pons, people like that on that side of YouTube have just been put into YouTube by Hollywood. They're Hollywood plants, so Hollywood can kind of just get themselves into the business. As mainstream media and television is dying, they need to shift over to YouTube. And a lot of people just think that Jake Paul, Logan Paul are these sort of plants from Hollywood, and they don't actually have any sort of real personality. And given the fact that Disney used to have contracts with Jake Paul and still may actually have contracts of Logan Paul, I don't blame people for pretty much seeing them as not actual people and just as actors. And even at this point in 2018 on Jake Paul's channel, it's becoming very difficult to find the difference between a television show and a YouTuber when you see that Jake Paul is putting content out like this.
They're running out, hurry up, hurry. Okay, jump in the back and go open it up. They're running.
Now, I don't actually understand how we've gone from over-the-top diss tracks on Ricegum to this in the space of a year. He's pretty much just making killer clown videos, fake prank videos, not videos anyone's particularly interested in other than his fan base. So at this point, I don't actually know who he is, especially with these videos which are all based around acting, and he even puts it in the description that these videos aren't real. And even Jake admitted he wants to come out and basically show the world of who he actually is as a real person. I'd want it to be super brutal and give Shane basically everything he wants. I want Shane to be brutally honest, and I really wouldn't want him to do it either if it were to upset his fan base, but I think it would be very interesting even for me to see what he has to say. There are genuinely so many questions I think a lot of people have, including myself, myself because I don't think anyone really expected a situation like this to ever occur. After the whole shitfest with the TanaCon situation, I genuinely believe, well, that's where all the documentaries are going to end. Well, apparently, this is where all the documentaries are going to begin. We're seeing Keemstar do this, we're seeing Shane Dawson do this, we're seeing me make 15-minute long videos. Maybe content on YouTube is moving into the more longer things rather than the 10-minute long videos, 5-minute long videos. Maybe more people are demanding longer content. Now the real question is, in this whole situation, is why would Shane Dawson actually do this? Why would he go ahead with a documentary around Jake Paul? Because Jake Paul's social blade pretty much tells the story. His views are down and his subs are down. Well, I don't necessarily believe it's all about self-gain here. If anything, it's not about that whatsoever, considering what Shane actually said in this tweet about it being interesting to him. And genuinely, I think it would be interesting to a lot of other people on YouTube. It's more about putting on a good show, because we've all seen Jake Paul in the limelight of being a complete and utter bellend in 2017, but as I said previously, we've never seen him in another light. We've never seen him as an actual person. We've only seen an act. I feel like out of everyone on YouTube to do this, Shane probably is the best person to do it, considering he really hasn't spoken about Jake and Logan Paul that much compared to everyone else. If PewDiePie was to do it, I don't think it would go well, considering he's made videos on Jake Paul. If Keemstar was to do it, I don't think that would go well, but considering the amount of videos he's made, if I was to do it, I don't think it would go down well. Shane can kind of come at this at a neutral perspective, like he pretty much did with the TanaCon situation, and overall put on a good show. The outright reason for making the TanaCon series wasn't necessarily to get views, it was to put on a good show, in my personal opinion. If he wanted to get views, he could just make another conspiracy video, but as he said in the tweet, he's looking to make things which interest him personally. And obviously views are a great thing, everyone loves getting views. If somebody says to you they don't like getting views on YouTube, they're bullshitting you. But to say it would just be about views would pretty much make it a bit boring. I feel like right now, Shane is kind of closing on a monopoly on YouTube in a way, because right now everyone seems to love him, admire his content, and for good reason too. But if he was to gain Jake Paul's audience, he'd pretty much be unstoppable. That is one of the most toxic audiences on the entire platform. And if anyone was to gain a backing like that, they could pretty much do anything they wanted. I don't mean in a bad way they can get away with things. I mean they can pretty much put out content they want to do, because this dedicated audience may come to the channel, may enjoy it, and may just sit through every single video. Because if they're sitting through fake killer clown videos, I feel like they're going to sit through a Shane Dawson video, which is clearly a superior level of content, in my personal opinion. And now going back to Jake Paul, a lot of people are overall skeptical about the situation, pretty much because, you know, it's Jake Paul the man for controversy, like his brother, Logan Paul, the men for controversy. In 2017, we'd see every single person making a video on Jake Paul weekly, or if not daily. But now in 2018, you don't really see Jake Paul videos that too often, do you? In 2017, Jake Paul could have probably uploaded a video of him taking a shit, and that video would have got 10 million views. He's the only YouTuber in my mind that has ever gained a full monopoly on the website, because he could do anything and everyone would make videos on it and he would get more traction to his channel. And that was the whole genius behind the Paul brothers in 2017. But now in 2018, he's pretty much just dropped off, and it's like he's clinging for life onto YouTube. And to be honest, it's very fucking ironic, because in 2017, Jake Paul and Logan Paul were pretty much dissing other YouTubers that use their names in the title for views.
Name in your title and you can pay this month's rent.
But now we've gotten to the point of where Jake Paul actually needs a shout out from another YouTuber to get back to the top of popularity again. And a lot of people may not want to hear this, but this situation could, emphasis on could, benefit Jake Paul. 2017's most popular man collaborating with 2018's most popular man, well, that could probably create a lot of views, and it could benefit Jake, considering all these people are going to be seeing him from another angle. And to be honest, anyone right now who is going to make a video with Shane Dawson is most likely going to benefit. I did a live stream and Shane Dawson came into the chat, and that stream had 2,000 viewers. It just makes no sense. But looking at things at another perspective, on the most likely of spectrums, this could genuinely result in something quite bad for Jake Paul. If anything, Shane Dawson could actually ruin Jake Paul's career. Because imagine if we actually discovered that Jake Paul is a bigger dickhead than we already thought he was. Imagine if the claims of him being abusive towards members of Team 10, his family and friends are all true, and imagine if they're worse. It's a possibility that Jake Paul's own documentary could actually ruin his career, given the fact that we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It could be pretty shady for all we know. And I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if this was the case, because a lot of members recently have left Team 10. Chance Sutton, Nick Crompton, they've all left Team 10, so there must be something going on in the background. It can't just be, oh, they're all bad and Jake Paul isn't good, given the stories that constantly come out about Jake Paul. There must be something we don't know about here. I honestly would be surprised if this benefited Jake Paul rather than negatively affected him. And a lot of people may think, well, what if Shane just goes easy on him? And that's a question that a lot of people may be asking, but I don't think that's exactly going to happen, considering he didn't exactly lay off his friend Tana Mongeau in his TanaCon documentary.
So I want to give a final thought on all of this. I don't think Michael's evil. I don't think Tana's evil. I think they both fucked up.
If he can say that his own close friend Tana Mongeau has fucked up, then what can he do with Jake Paul? Imagine if he catches Jake Paul doing something terrible on camera. This could massively backfire in Jake Paul's face. This whole situation would be extremely interesting to me as a YouTuber and also as a viewer, because some part of me is saying, I don't want this to happen, I don't want Jake Paul to get exposure, but then on the other side, I genuinely want to see it, and to be honest, I probably more want to see it than I don't want to see it, if that actually makes any sense whatsoever. But the last thing I want to talk about is, how would this whole documentary actually take place? Because with the whole TanaCon documentary, it was more of an interview / a lot of clips were thrown in here and there, so fans were spoken to. Would it necessarily be like that? Because honestly, I would rather see a full week documentary about how Jake Paul goes ahead with his days, because I feel like if there was a whole week documented, I feel like Jake Paul probably wouldn't be able to completely be fake throughout the whole thing. Some realness may shine through here and there, and we might see if he's a bad person or a good person. Now, Jake Paul is an extremely manipulative person. We have seen that in the past, so there are going to be a lot of worries that he may get in Shane's mind, and I genuinely hope that doesn't happen, obviously, and I don't think it will happen. I feel like Jake Paul will just have an honest documentary here. But you know what is weird to me is the fact that we need YouTube documentaries to show the real side of a YouTuber. That is where we have reached in 2018 of YouTube. We now need documentaries to give us an identification of who an actual YouTuber is. These big YouTubers, we don't know them now, and we need somebody to take a camera and record their life to give them a perception of what they're actually like. And in my mind, that's completely fucked up. That isn't YouTube. I'm not attacking Shane, I'm attacking Jake Paul. If you can't show your real self for once, like you've admitted in your tweet pretty much, I don't understand how you're a YouTuber. You're more of an actor. When Jake's numbers started going down, he started gaining less subscribers and getting less views. This has been the only time he's wanted to show his real self. And discredit the old style of YouTube all you want with YouTubers such as Ray William Johnson. At least these people were real. Their content may not have been amazing, but at least we knew who they are as people. We didn't get this fake persona. We knew somewhat to a degree of what they're like. But Jake Paul, I don't have a clue. I have no clue whatsoever. Not all YouTubers are fake. I'd like to say a lot of YouTubers I personally watch are real people, such as Shane Dawson, but I think a lot of the time the top vloggers are all fake. Zoella, Alfie Days, and there is a massive problem with this. It's something that hasn't really been spoken about, the problem of fakeness. We have a false perception of a lot of YouTubers, and to me, I don't like that. Now, I want to conclude this video by saying I am very skeptical about the whole situation, but at the same time, I'm pretty excited for it. I imagine it will be fantastic, just like the TanaCon documentary. In fact, I do love watching most documentaries on YouTube. I have been interested in Keemstar's FuziCon documentary. It's just something I particularly like watching. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to talking about it in the future. And I'll end this video by saying that Jake Paul has a very good chance of his career being ruined by the Shane Dawson documentary if he slips up. And there is a good chance he will slip up, because there is no way he can go an entire week without showing a side of him which is actually real. Now, that is the end of the video. I would love to know your thoughts at twitter.com/iNabberTV. Also send me your thoughts at Instagram @iNabber. But if you want, you can just comment below. In fact, that's probably the best place to do it. Comment below your thoughts. That genuinely would mean the world. And drop a like if you did enjoy the video. And do not forget to subscribe. And before I end the video, I would like to thank my Patreons, as I always do. Big thanks to Anochi, Charmskull, Lily, Leslie, Cubes Mary, Bugabouch, Dora, Amy, Ghost of Devon, Michelle, Speedbird, Mel, Uncle Tid, Stinky Dano, Sophie, Aurelie, Anna, Tristan, Lou, Henry, Sarah, Rochelle, Maya, Zombie Says, Creepmaster, Rob, 05 Specific Box on the Cold. That was a mouthful, but we got there in the end. Thank you so much for pledging to the Patreon, and thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for the support. That's a lot of thank yous, I know. But yeah, see you later, people. Peace.